If you look at autonomous drone delivery as nothing more than flying parcels, you have already missed half of the story. The real battlefield is not the speed of one drone. It is who turns the sky into a logistics platform. In delivery economics, the last mile is often expensive. A driver has to reach the door. Vehicles sit in traffic. Parking, failed delivery attempts, labor time, fuel, and routing complexity all add cost. Drones attack that painful corner of the system. For small packages, medical goods, urgent parts, groceries, and time-sensitive items, an aerial route can be attractive. But do not confuse a drone fleet with a logistics empire. Buying aircraft is the obvious part. The real capital attaches to air corridors, landing pads, charging hubs, route data, insurance, safety approvals, and regulatory trust. A company that links these elements first becomes more than a delivery operator. It becomes a sky lane operator. As order volume grows, flight data accumulates. As flight data improves, operations can become safer, faster, and more predictable. Better operations attract more merchants and customers. More customers create more density. More density improves unit economics. That loop is the beginning of a platform moat. We should be careful with the word monopoly. This is not a claim that one company legally monopolizes the sky. The point is capital concentration. Drone delivery can create conditions where logistics capital flows toward whoever controls the densest routes, the safest operations, and the most valuable infrastructure nodes. The parcel is not the story. The story is that urban logistics may be reorganized around rules in the sky. That is where the money starts looking upward. The second key is unit economics. Drone delivery always looks impressive in a demo video, but views do not pay for operations. The real question is, how much money is left after one delivery is completed? Drone delivery costs include the aircraft, battery life, charging time, maintenance, fleet supervision, insurance, software, landing infrastructure, regulatory compliance, and customer support. Weather matters. Payload limits matter. A drone can carry a small package or a medical item. It is not elegantly carrying a washing machine to the 20th floor of an apartment building. So the claim that drones replace all logistics is lazy science fiction. They are strongest in specific use cases. Small, light, frequent, time-sensitive items. Medical samples, urgent parts, convenience goods, selected groceries, and short-distance deliveries can fit the logic better. Then density decides the game. If orders keep appearing in the same neighborhood, drones can repeat short routes. Battery cycles improve. Hub utilization rises. Landing pads become more useful. Route data becomes more precise. Each additional delivery teaches the system something. In a low-density area, the same drone can become a very expensive toy. Utilization is low. Charging and return time are painful. Infrastructure costs are spread across too few deliveries. That is why the capital concentration. Logic of autonomous drone delivery begins on the ground, not in the sky. Who controls the best urban zones? Who signs the most merchants? Who secures the densest landing network? Who gets repeated demand? Density lowers cost, and lower cost attracts more density. It sounds simple because it is. That is also why it is dangerous. Simple loops are the ones platforms love most. The third factor is regulation. In drone delivery, the most expensive gate is not the warehouse door. It is the sky gate. Being technically able to fly is very different from being allowed to operate. Repeated commercial flights over communities. The key issue is BVLOS, beyond visual line of sight. If drones can fly only where an operator can directly see them, the delivery network remains limited. To fly farther, repeatedly, and autonomously, regulators demand proof of safety. Collision avoidance matters. Lost communication procedures matter. Emergency landing plans matter. Protection from power lines, birds, bad weather, and dense urban obstacles matters. Insurance, liability, privacy, and cybersecurity can also enter the conversation. Then there is noise. A drone in a demo sounds futuristic. Hundreds of drones passing over a neighborhood every day may sound like a municipal complaint factory. That is where regulation becomes both a cost and a moat. An operator that receives approvals early, builds a clean safety record, coordinates with local governments, and secures landing locations can become hard to catch. A competitor can buy similar aircraft. It cannot instantly buy regulatory trust. It cannot instantly buy flight history. It cannot instantly buy community acceptance. Of course, regulation cuts both ways. It can protect citizens, airspace safety, and privacy. It can also make early operators stronger by raising barriers for late entrants. Both things can be true. That is the annoying beauty of infrastructure markets. So when analyzing the capital concentration of drone delivery, do not stare only at the technology demo. Ask who can legally open the route, repeat it safely, scale it quietly, and keep regulators comfortable. Drones fly on batteries. Businesses fly on permission. The second fuel is often harder to obtain. The fourth layer is data and infrastructure. The most underestimated asset in drone delivery is not the drone itself. It is the operational data created by repeated flights over real cities. Which wind patterns appear at which hours? Which rooftop landing pads have lower failure rates? Where does signal interference appear? Which products are ordered at which times? Which routes create noise complaints? Which weather conditions drain batteries faster? As this data accumulates, logistics becomes more predictable engineering. Predictability attracts capital. It can reduce insurance uncertainty. It can improve battery replacement timing. It can optimize fleet placement. It can help merchants promise more accurate delivery windows. Now the platform moat becomes visible. A new competitor can buy aircraft. It cannot instantly copy tens of thousands of flight records. It cannot instantly copy local government relationships. It cannot instantly copy merchant demand patterns, landing pad performance, weather-adjusted routing, or neighborhood acceptance. And infrastructure is not just digital. Landing pads, charging hubs, micro-fulfillment centers, and rooftop access are physical positions. The best locations are not infinite. An early operator with strong site agreements can gain a location advantage. Location advantage reduces delivery time. Shorter delivery time attracts more demand. More demand improves utilization. Better utilization attracts more capital. That is the flywheel. This is how autonomous drone delivery can pull logistics capital toward a few strong ecosystems. The moat does not come from wings alone. It emerges when data, location, regulation, and demand lock together. The technology may be the glamorous part. The lock is where the money hides. In platform economics, the beautiful machine is often less important than the boring gate it controls. Drone delivery is no exception. Here's the conclusion. Autonomous drone delivery can concentrate logistics capital in three connected ways. First, it attacks the expensive last-mile segment by automating short, frequent, time-sensitive deliveries. Second, it uses order, density, and landing infrastructure to create scale economies. Third, it builds regulatory approvals and flight data that can become invisible, walls for late competitors. But this story should not be painted entirely in gold. Drone delivery faces very real walls. Noise, safety, weather, batteries, insurance, privacy, public acceptance, and urban regulation. Investors should follow a clear checklist. Is there a real use case where unit delivery cost falls below existing vehicle delivery? Where are BVLOS and commercial approvals actually opening? Are flight counts, incident rates, delivery success, and operating costs improving? Has the operator secured valuable landing pads, charging hubs, and micro-fulfillment locations? Is public acceptance rising or turning into complaint pressure? Cities should ask their own questions. Is the benefit of faster delivery larger than the cost of noise and privacy concerns? Will aerial access become too concentrated in one platform? How should public airspace interact with private logistics networks? Who is responsible when automation fails? Drone delivery may be part of the future of shipping. It may also begin a fight over who gets to commercialize the low-altitude sky above cities. That is why the winner may not be the company with the coolest drone. The winner may be the ecosystem that links approvals, data, landing sites, charging hubs, merchants, and order density faster than everyone else. Drones fly through the air. Capital moves through networks. If you want to understand the money, stop staring only at the propellers. Look at the map they are trying to own.